A 1.28 kilogram piece of styrofoam float material can be held underwater with a downward force of 328.7 newtons. What is the density of the styrofoam? Okay, this is another problem just like the last one, right? So here's the water. Here's our piece of styrofoam. And we're exerting a force of 328.7 newtons, right? And we know that there's a force of gravity, right? There's the weight down, and then there's a buoyant force up. Okay. Ultimately, the density of the styrofoam is going to be the mass of the styrofoam over the volume of the styrofoam. Well, you know the mass. That's the mass, right? We can plug that in. But what is the volume of the styrofoam? Well, we'll find that from the buoyant force, which is what? The density of the fluid, the volume of the fluid, right? If it's submerged, the volume of the fluid displaced is the same as the volume of the styrofoam, right? So all we have to do is figure out what the buoyant force is, then we can figure out the volume, then we can find the density, right? All right. Okay. So in this situation, we know that negative 328.7, right? The weight of this thing is going to be minus 1.28 times 9.81 plus the buoyant force is going to equal 0, right? Yeah, is that right? I think so. So the buoyant force is just 328.7 plus 1.28 times 9.81. The buoyant force is 341.2568 newtons. And that also equals the density of the fluid, which is 1,000, right? So this equals density of the fluid, volume of the fluid, times G, right? So that's 1,000 times the volume we're trying to find times 9.81. Okay, so I'm going to divide this number by 1,000, divided by 9.81, and I get that the volume of the fluid, which is also going to be the volume of the styrofoam, right, is 0.0347866 cubic meters, right? So now we're set. We can just plug this in, right? Our density of the styrofoam is its mass divided by its volume, which we figured out from the buoyant force, right? So that's 0.0347866. So 1.28 divided by the number I just got on my calculator. I'm getting that its density is 36.8 kilograms per cubic meter. All right. Hey, thanks for joining me on this quarantine day here.